Hello, welcome to HIS 332, History of Latinas and Latinos in the United States. My name is Daniel Smith and I will be the instructor for our course. I look forward to working with you this semester. This is a short introductory video for the course. In this short video, I'll explain a bit about the format of the course and what you can expect in the 6 weeks ahead. I hope that this will be a helpful resource for you. First, I'd like to introduce myself. I've been teaching here at Bay Path University for approximately 6 years. I teach a variety of history courses, primarily U.S. history courses. I've taught History 114 and History 115, which is early American history and more contemporary American history. I've also taught a course called History 315, which focuses on the period from 1945 to the present. A bit about my academic background. I have a bachelor's degree in history from Syracuse University and a master's degree in history from SUNY Cortland. And I also completed a great deal of coursework in the PhD program at the University at Albany as well. The principal focus of my studies and research has been 20th century American history. This is the first time that I'm teaching this course. This is actually the first time that this course has been offered at the college. And I designed the course and the course materials as well. I very much look forward to this new course offering, and I think that it will be an exciting and engaging course. I hope you'll find it to be interesting and engaging. So, a bit about the course. There's one required textbook for the course. The author is Felipe Fernandez Armesto, and he's a Spanish historian. And the book is Our America, A Hispanic History of the United States. It's a recent publication. It was just published in 2015. I should note you will not be able to find any previous editions of the book, simply because this is the first edition of the book, was published in 2015. It's not particularly pricey text, so I think you'll be able to find it at a reasonable cost. The bookstore is aware of the textbook for the course as well. And each week you'll be assigned to read one or more chapters from the textbook. So that will be one typical assignment. Each week of the course, you'll be asked to read a number of chapters from the textbook. I do think you'll find the textbook to be interesting and engaging. It's written for an undergraduate student population, and it is not your typical textbook. A lot of textbooks are very dry, not particularly engaging. This author is very well known for his engaging writing style, and many of his books have become bestsellers, which is not typical of a textbook, certainly. So there's engaging prose and engaging writing style. I think you'll find it to be an interesting text. So each week, it's important to keep up with the reading. That will be one significant aspect of time commitment to the course. It is very important to have a copy of the text available to you for the course. And there are a variety of types of assignments that you'll be asked to complete for this course. Each week you'll be asked to participate in a discussion board. Discussion boards are one of the core aspects of online courses at Bay Path University. And the discussion board is an opportunity for students to interact with each other and for students to interact with their instructor. Each week I have posted a discussion question. And the discussion question is designed to facilitate debate. My hope is that each discussion question will facilitate a variety of different opinions on the topic. So I've chosen topics that are likely to stimulate discussion where there's likely to be contrasting views about the topic. You're required to post a response to each discussion question by Thursday at 11:59 p.m. each week. So by Thursday at 11:59 p.m. each week, you're required to post your initial response to the discussion question. Then you are asked and required to post a response to at least 2 other comments on the discussion board. You can post a response to other students' comments, or you can post a response to your instructor's comments. They all count. But you should post a total of 3 comments for each week. 1 initial response to the question, and 2 responses to others' comments. This is a relatively small class in terms of enrollment, but there should be an adequate number of responses, certainly, for you to respond to 2 posts each week. As I said, feel free to respond to my comments as well. I will be active in the discussion board forum. I will be posting during the week. One thing you will note is that you will not see any other comments until you post your initial response. This is designed to prevent any concerns with one student taking information from another student's post for their own comment, any concerns about that might arise. So until you post your own initial response, you will not see any other posts. Once you post your response, you'll see every other post that's been made thus far. Your responses to other comments are due by Saturday at 11:59 p.m. So your initial response by Thursday, your initial response is due by Thursday, your responses to other comments is due by Saturday at 11:59 p.m. The discussion questions are typically drawn from the assigned reading. So in order to answer the discussion question thoroughly, it's important to complete the assigned reading. So I'd encourage you to read the textbook first, read the assigned chapters from the textbook first, and then compose a response to the discussion board question. So if you're looking at, well, where do I find this information to respond to the discussion question, it comes from the assigned reading from the textbook. The discussions are worth 30% of your overall grade for the course, so they are worth a substantial portion of your grade. There's no minimum length requirement for your posts, as long as you provide a thoughtful and thorough response to the question. You should provide a substantive response to others' comments. Simply writing "good work" or "I agree" would not be a substantive response. It should add something to the discussion. Feel free to agree or disagree with your classmates or instructor, but we do want to maintain a polite and respectful conversation. So keep in mind that's an academic discussion forum, so even if we disagree with each other, we should still be considerate and polite in our discussion posts. Most weeks during the course, you will be assigned to watch a documentary film. The documentary films are available through the college, and you'll see that in each film assignment, there is a link to the film. So you can actually click on a link to the film, and it will bring you to that documentary film. These documentary films come from a series entitled Latino Americans, and you'll be watching different segments in this series entitled Latino Americans. It's a film series that was produced by PBS. It's a fairly recently produced film series. It was produced just a few years ago, so it's very current in terms of its scholarship, and it presents a very interesting overview of the history of Latinas and Latinos in the United States, the contributions that Latinas and Latinos have made to American culture and society, the various challenges that Latinas and Latinos have faced in overcoming discrimination. It's a very rich and rewarding film series, and each week you're asked to view a film and to provide a one-page commentary on the film. You're not asked to summarize the film, rather you're asked to identify what you found interesting about the film and provide a critical commentary. What did you think was positive about the film or negative about the film? What did you think of the film? What did you make of it? You'll see more details in the specific assignment for the film commentaries. The film commentaries are worth a total of 30% of your overall grade for the course as well. Unlike the discussion boards, I'll be the only person reading your film commentaries and providing feedback. Other students don't have access to your film commentaries. Another type of assignment that you have during the course is a primary source assignment. Primary sources are documents, are first-hand accounts, documents written during the time period. So the primary sources that we have for this course are all primary sources about either the experiences of Latinas and Latinos in the United States throughout American history, or they are documents reflecting our government's reaction to immigration or issues of immigration or the Latino experience in America. So you'll see documents that were written by Latinas and Latinos living in the United States reflecting on their experiences. You'll also see documents, political documents, documents from Congress, debates about immigration, debates about the Spanish language, for example, that have taken place in the United States over the course of history. For each of these documents, you'll be asked to reflect on the document and to answer questions about the document. So you'll read each document, which is available through Canvas. You'll read each document in Canvas, and then you'll respond to a series of questions about the documents, typing those in a Word document, and then uploading them to Canvas for my review and grading. The primary source assignments are worth 20% of your overall grade for the course. And then finally, you'll be asked to write a research essay for the course. The research essay will be 5 to 6 pages in length, double-spaced. It's the largest single assignment for the course. It's due at the end of the course, and you can choose really any topic that you'd like that's relevant to our course. So what you're asked to do is choose a topic related to the history of Latinas and Latinos in the United States at any point from the colonial period up to the present, and to research that topic and to present the findings of your research. There are a variety of resources available through the library database in BayPath, in my BayPath, that you can use as resources. I can direct you to some resources that are available for your research assignment. And what you're asked to do is to identify a number of sources about your topic, formulate a thesis, and then write a 5 to 6 page essay revealing what you learned through your research. Some examples that you could choose. You could choose to focus on a specific group. As we know, the term Latinas, Latinos is a somewhat generic term for a very diverse population. People have come to the United States from many different countries, many different societies, with different cultures. So the culture of each Latin American nation is distinct, as you know. And so you could choose to focus on one particular group. You might choose to focus on the history of Puerto Rico, for example, or the history of Cuban Americans, or the history of Mexican Americans. So you could focus on a particular national group of immigrants to the United States or residents of the United States. Of course, not all Latinas and Latinos have been immigrants to the United States. Some of the earliest settlers of the United States were Latinas and Latinos. For example, as we'll learn through the Mexican Cession, a large number of Latinas and Latinos became part of the United States, became citizens of the United States. And of course, Puerto Rico is also a part of the United States as well, a territory of the United States. So you could choose to focus on a particular national group and its history. You could choose to focus on a particular event in history, the experience of Latinas and Latinos in the Second World War, for example, or the struggle of Latinas and Latinos to overcome racial and ethnic discrimination, could be another topic. or the role that Latinas and Latinos have played in American politics and seeking elected office. So there's a variety of avenues that you could pursue in your research for this topic. You could also research the issue of immigration and how that's impacted the Latina and Latino community. The purpose of this course, in many ways, is to reveal the fact that the United States is a very diverse country and to develop a greater appreciation for this diversity. Unfortunately, and I think tragically, much of American history has presented a very narrow view of what America is. If you look at a standard American history textbook, there tends to be a focus on Anglo-American history, on the history of English settlers, the Puritans, the founding of Plymouth Colony, the founding of Jamestown, and a focus on Anglo-America, America as being created out of the English experience of migration and settlement. The problem with that narrative is not that it's not part of American history. It certainly is part of American history, Plymouth and Jamestown and English settlement, but that it's incomplete. It's not the whole picture. It's not the whole story. Some of the first settlements in what today is the United States were established by the Spanish Empire. Settlements, for example, in Florida, which were established long before the settlements at Plymouth or Jamestown. And unfortunately, these often receive very little attention in standard American history textbooks. There's a perception in standard American history texts that the English settlements come first, and then Latina and Latino American history comes later. And that's really not true. That what becomes the United States has always included Spanish-speaking settlements, has always included a Latina and Latino culture. It's not something that's foreign to the United States that came later. It's something that's always been integral to the United States. So one of the goals of this course is to really reflect on this fact that Latina and Latino culture are not the other. They're not something foreign to the United States. They have always been an integral part of American history, and we've simply, our culture has simply not reflected upon this or taken this to heart, that it's always been there. It's just been ignored for far too long in American history. So I want to bring to light that the history of Latinas and Latinos has been crucial to the history of America throughout our history, throughout our development, that from the colonial period in the 16th century all the way to the present, Latinas and Latinos have been contributing to American culture, have been living in the United States, have been a part of our national history, not something outside it, not something foreign to it. I also want in this course to focus on the discrimination that Latinas and Latinos have faced at times in American history. This is a story that's not often fully understood. If you look at standard American history textbooks, there tends to be a focus on the struggle of African Americans for equality, which is certainly extremely important. But there has also been a struggle for Latinas and Latinos to establish full equality in America. And that's an important story, an important narrative to focus upon as well, and an equally heroic story of struggle for equality that I think is particularly important in a period when prejudice still exists. I mean, progress has been made, but prejudice towards Latinas and Latinos still exists. You see that in our political atmosphere today and discussions of immigration. So I think it's important to reflect on the history of the struggle for equality and where that struggle stands today as well. So I hope this will be an engaging course. Feel free to contact me. I posted an announcement with my email address. You can also contact me through Canvas. My phone number has also been posted, so feel free to contact me if you have any questions or concerns. Thank you so much.